Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. An urgent broadcast. Just want to come on for a few minutes and share my thoughts. I'm just so outraged for the things that has been going on in California. I don't know if any of my, I know I have a few subscribers I know personally that are from California, but first of all, I hope that everyone is safe and their family is safe, and it's just so hard to watch something so uncalled for, and something that I've always felt, but I don't think I've ever talked about this. But I feel that not I feel I can observe and see that it's never a good idea when this sort of uh, metrosexual, possibly, more than that, so-called men are running the country. It's really so scary. I don't know if it's a lack of testosterone, their faulty beliefs, their connection with evil, what it is. But today I watched a short clip of um, Gavin Newscom, as we call him, in certain circles, uh, just being thrilled and excited for the stuff that just being, first of all, completely detached, emotionally unavailable, not showing maybe even an ounce of empathy, but also just being so excited about some deals, with the devil. He mentioned that he was in touch with this guy from Hawaii, and they making some deals, and he couldn't contain himself. He was so happy about it. And I'm just thinking, like, how that is even possible, how it is even possible to for a human being that is living, breathing. How can you even think of material business deals when so many people uh, are left in a total disaster, in a total shock. That's just so devastating. I have been in this last couple of years. I have been in touch with some people who, been running away from Ukrainian war, which is, burns, just the same disaster. This is a nature disaster enticed by people who decided not to be prepared for it, and that is another disaster in Ukraine. With the war, with people serving their interest and making millions of people suffering. And today I felt like they're like brothers in spirit, both Zelensky and this some newscom, I don't know how to call him. They both just delighted, for the things that going on. And I don't know, it's just, I'm speechless. But from my experience, seeing people, talking to people, try to help them with certain things, that lost their homes, that have had to leave their homes, did not plan like for immigration, didn't plan to move somewhere, but lost, they're basically forced of their homes. And it's such incredible pain. um of course, there are difference between the two, but result is the same. You have to run for life, and you have to leave everything, and just run in order to hopefully survive and make sure that your loved ones survive in this. You have to find the means and way how to live later. I mean, how to survive. Yes, maybe people in California, some of them are wealthier, but it doesn't make it any better in terms of losing everything you had and knew, and maybe were planning to for your children to inherit. But those people that I personally talked to, including my family, who had to leave their homes. You know, the pain and grief, and it's such a tragic experience. It's such a loss, and yes, they do understand how lucky they are to if if they have their loved ones alive. You know, their children, their spouses, you know, relatives. They understand more than persons that never went through it uh, ever does understand that. But I don't know. There is just what scares me the most is that I feel like all these things are allowed. Like they are allowed to happen. That, you know, human life, um, everything that means to people that, you know, wealthy or middle class, or people who maybe low income, all have something in common. It's just, you know, their everyday lives, their families, and now we have, it's interesting because in both, yes, allowed, yes. And it's interesting because in both of these instances, you know, we have these metrosexual, I don't want to call them gay, but you know, we have all these, you know, metrosexual glamorous men, you know, that probably spend more time near the mirror than a woman does, and God knows what other stuff they're into. You know, it's better not to know, but you know, you can read that behavior, you can see that very clearly. I don't think that these men on this top can be called men, and then they should be allowed to run governments and countries and solve destinies, because they as themselves are very troubled. You know, they are rotten within, they're not well. Um, and this is what we have, you know, for some reason, that's what we have. And yeah, they are, I have a feeling they will never be punished for neither of these things. And um, I just see this negligence, that's extreme governmental negligence, allowing people to destroy, allowing them to just have their way. You know, same what happened with COVID, same, you know, the stuff that they get away with, and nobody ever gets punished. So it's just really insane. You know, I'm just coming here to to connect with everybody who feels the same. Yeah, I don't know. Um, I talked a lot about, you know, man and women dynamic on my channel, and yeah, I do believe that this kind of men, they have less testosterone, you know, less um, strengths. You know, they definitely do not have the first thing, the first reason why we need men for is protection. They can't protect their own people. You know, it hurts me so much to see, you know, what the, you know, Ukrainian president had done to our people, to our men. It's just, it's just, you know, I'm in touch with some of my, I have some friends that I know since I was 5 years old. I always say six, but my friend Vera, she always tell me five. So we've been friends since we were 5 years old, and she been telling me what nightmare. They were really hoping that the evil will take the election again in Ukraine. They were hoping for U.S. You know, allowing all this to happen, and in Ukraine, they now starting to prepare little boys. They have a new program where 14, 15, you have to go through the military prep. You have to go through military preparation, and yeah, you they really counting on you to be in the, to groom you, to prepare you for the military. You know, instead of thinking how we can preserve our population in Ukraine, you know, men and women too, everyone. But in this case, they of course are trying, they've been trying to pass the law for women. And I think right now, I don't, my friend, she was sending me all these videos, but to be honest, I didn't watch them because I can't watch it. But I know in general that they are working really hard to involve women into military service. It's just, I feel like these governments, they really, you really start to see the connection between everything, and they just want, we have the saying in Ukraine, when you pick up coal, like burning coal with someone else's hands. We have this saying that it's easy to pick up burning coal with someone else's hands. That's, I feel like, all the governments, here in US, current government, and in Ukraine, and in Russia, everywhere, in all these countries, that governments really do want people to burn their hands, to to pave their ways, with their pain, and with losing the people. When I was running my channel all these years, I talked a lot about men and women, and specifically the differences in our mentality, American versus Eastern European. And a lot of angry people were asking, so why is that Ukrainian women or Slavic women in general want to date American men? You don't have your own man? Actually, ma'am, we or sir, we did not have enough of men. Since World War II, we did not have enough of men because so many men had died in the war. And it's like my grandfather generation and older, they were fighting in the war. And Soviet Union, those areas that were affected the most by the war, they had never recovered. That's why, when the Soviet Union had fallen, uh, people started to just opening up their dating market, not because they were uh, desperate, or they nobody need them in their countries. This is total shit. Not for the reason, is because we literally did not have. We even had a song. We even had this like really cute vintage retro song about, unfortunately for 10 girls, there is only for 10 boys. No, I'm sorry. Unfortunately for the 10 girls, there are only 9 boys. It was like a playful, very sweet retro song. But the funny thing, in reality, it was for 10 girls, maybe eligible, maybe 5 or 6 boys, because for multiple reasons, right? Some are not the marriage material, some are not ready, some already, no, not qualified for whatever reason. Well, you know how it is. But I was always, I would not say I was offended, but I always understood that people are so uneducated, not even uneducated, but not aware of why there is nothing wrong with have a variety of options, for your personal life. Uh, and women in Ukraine in general prefer masculine men, not metrosexuals. Um, yeah, like we just can't take a man seriously when he has to do his makeup, when he has to, you know do he has to be all feminine, and waiting for you to take decisions, and not having the most natural instinct for a man is protection. And I think there is a lot of parallels can be made between family and government and country and state, because family is a mini, like it's a mini government, in your own family, right? It's a mini organization, so to speak, the way it's all adds up in a big vision, and Slavic women, Eastern European women do not take men seriously, that do not know which bathroom to use, that do not know how to make plans. They in United States, those poor men that were raised by feministic women, they have such low initiative, such low vibe, such low, not low vibe, such confusing personalities, that they would not call you, if they call you one time, you did not pick up the phone, they're like, oh, I don't want to. Like, they're just so insecure, unsure, they want women to lead, and it's really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate that we're living in a world that, and some of us women right now, we are forced, on all the levels to take decisions, to do things, because many men reserve, or not reserve, many men, seeing, I don't know, seeing these ideals, those Gavin Newscomes, and becoming, kind of in a metrosexual style, so to speak, becoming undecisive, worrying about, their dreams, their chicken, and orange juice on time, worrying how they look. I was watching a video where this guy in the middle of disaster had clip on his back, so to that his uniform fits better. That was the epitome of it all. We are so it's like every system, masculine and feminine, every system strives to balance. So when the men becoming more feminine, women naturally going to become more masculine, and then we have all this confusion and all this stuff. But in general, I think that the number one qualifier for any position to run anything is common sense. Is common sense that is we have a major lack of, and it's just very, very disappointing. Oh man, I'm just so hurt to see that. It's been, it's just the beginning of 2025. We are at the very beginning of the year, and what a disaster for people in California, and of course it's ongoing disaster for people in Ukraine, for people in Israel, and everywhere else. This is what happens, when you don't have a strong leader, whether it's a family, whether it's organization, business, or a country, when there is not a leader to hold it together with extreme testosterone, maybe crazy personality. By crazy personality, I mean somewhat of obnoxious personality. I don't care about, we shouldn't care about some of the leaders have their not being always, too proper and too correct and too politically correct and, all of that. I think, men who are driven, who have this extreme testosterone, who are leaders, who are definitely heterosexual, not metrosexual or worse, uh, these are the only kind of men that can hold it together under pressure, under stress, who will take measures, when they, because they look out for their family, for their company, or for their country. They look out for it. They look at possibilities. They know how to plan. They know how to focus on one thing. They know how to get done. But we are dealing with people who are more focused on their hair gel, with men who worrying about what hair gels they're gonna put on their hair, rather than just focusing on disasters that appear every single year and require major preparation. But they not only not looking out for it, they make sure they're not prepared, so they can get cuts and good sales and good deals, and don't matter than, don't worry that it's going to hurt people and families and everything that takes so much effort to build, so much effort to build, to build anything. You're looking at those beautiful homes and people and schools and children, and what a catastrophe they went through. And that is why, my deep belief, when are you have a traditional orientation, traditional view, when you have family, when you have your loved ones, the chances of you thinking about selling your country, selling your company, selling anything like this that will hurt the people, you could never do that because you yourself have vulnerable things, extremely vulnerable things like your family. There is nothing burns and hurts and scares you more than seeing your loved ones in pain, than seeing then even the thought that your daughter, your little daughter, or your little niece, or your son, or your grandchildren, or your wife, or your somebody you're close, when you have that normal human being logic, you would not think about selling something, selling out your country, selling out your people. You cannot even, you don't care if what will be in your bank to do. You can't do that because that defeats the purpose of life. But yes, we have pure evil. We have men who once again concerned about hair gel, but not the safety of their people. They worrying about a real leader coming in and giving them hard time. uh, they've been telling that the biggest the biggest threat is a man that actually knows how to run things. And right now this man needs to come in power. That day couldn't come soon enough, and he will literally, I used to tell this to my friends, that I feel like he will literally have to walk in a burning building, like a burning country, like, because we have wars, we have uh, illegal immigration issue, we have economy. I mean, we have everything is burning and falling apart without a leader, like, without a father of this nation. And now he is literally be walking into, not figuratively speaking anymore, but he'll be walking in a burning building. Just sorry, like, well, kind of a figure of speech, a burning building, but burning state. Like, there is literal fire, and he has to come and try to fix internal issues, domestic issues, economical issues, international issues. I don't even know how it's possible to deal with this and fix this all, but I hope that with the power of people and support he will. And yeah, that's why I am so blunt when it comes to masculinity, and how um, we do need to have men become great again, because on all the level, governmental, family, relationships, everything is falling apart. We have men in their 50s and 60s that are just looking for entertainment and sex all day. I sometimes, when I don't record videos, sometimes I listen to other people podcasts, and I'm just like, really, at 50, 60 years old, you're teaching men how to manipulate women and get them in bed? Really? There's no maturity that comes. That's on a different subject, but I just can't help myself. I just, it's just amazing, amazing. But we don't. How many role models do we have right now? Like, could you guys, if you're watching later or now, like, how many role models we can name? We have to look for them. Role models of that have standards. I don't know. It's really painful to watch. We have men who running of responsibilities, just wants nothing to do but you know use women for, just use them, for many, actually not one thing, for many things. And then, well, I'm not ready for a relationship, like, I'm not ready for this, like, I'm telling you, the reason why women are becoming so masculine is because they have nobody to rely on. It's just a mess. So, but in terms of governmental power, that is so crucial. It couldn't be, it could not be so fluid. We shouldn't vote and hire gender fluid men metrosexual men, however you want to call them, to be in power of anything because they are themselves not able to manage their own. That's all. Oh my gosh! I just if if you be watching today, I don't watch a lot of news. I just sometimes I watch a very short updates, or I watch a channel, my favorite channels that comments on news. Um, and I don't always, I can't always watch the whole thing, but when you watch those updates and videos, and you see the neglect, the detachment, the worst of that of this all is that they really think that we are so that we can't understand and discern their lies when they blaming each other, blaming circumstance, blaming anybody, but never take responsibility. What kind of leader, what kind of man who runs on the testosterone does not take responsibility when he's wrong? When things could have been prevented, but he did everything that they are unfolded and unfolded disastrously. You know, what kind of leader can't own up a thing and would show a finger, like a little child? That's unfortunately, our reality. And I just it does mess with my mind when I think that they just doing these things, they can get away with all these things, and they think that people are so gullible, and many people are gullible, that they will believe that, oh yeah, we couldn't prevent this, oh yeah, this not anybody's fault, you have to understand, do what makes you happy, all that BS. But I would love to hear what you have to say about this. I am still, a fairly new person in this country. I only been here for, well, I've been here enough, so let's say, but I wasn't born here. I come here already as an adult. Um, I'm in the United States, for those who may not know, but originally from Ukraine. And yeah, it hurts a lot to see this destruction of everything. I do think that uh, this man was unknown, questionable grip of the man with a questionable grip on reality should not run anything, you know. Yeah, I heard about the smart city. Yeah, that's insane. I've heard about that, Jason. Thank you. Yeah. Well, let me say a quick hello to everybody, and I want to wish you a beautiful day still. Oh, I'm just, I don't know, that really got under my skin today. When I saw him smiling and dancing, being so giddy, eager. I'm talking about this governor of California, just that he making deals with governor uh, of Hawaii, or whatever, and he's just excited. How can you even force a smile when people are screaming and everything burned to the ground? Oh, you can do it if that was part of your plan and you are in it, on it, and you're gonna get something, and you don't care about human beings, you know unless they're people you doing your nails with. Oh man. Welcome everybody who is new. Please put a like. Be so kind. Put a like if you enjoy my talks, and put a comment. And if you want to see me again, please subscribe. I rarely actually say that. I don't think I've ever said this, but subscribe if you'd like. Let me say a quick hello. Jason, thank you. Yes, allowed. Super Mario Travels, thank you. I appreciate that. Jack, hello, Jack. Unfortunately, we have very, very few people in a position of power that puts their own people first, which is better right now. A long-term prosperity or short-term stability? Um, I don't see any excuses for the situation. I'm sorry. There is no excuse for these disasters, and for people that are not qualified to run things, but they are allowed to do that. I think that people need to wake up and take needed steps like we did this election. Thank you. Kasparov. Wow, Kasparov, hello. This woman is really smart. Thank you, Mr. Kasparov. Kasparov is pretty bright himself. Even if you have just the name Kasparov, even if it's a nickname, that's a very good nickname. Some of that brilliance should rub off on you. Things in UK are just as chaotic with grooming scandal. Yeah, I've seen that. The Sam really needs to stop. Decisive action needs to be taken. Yeah, I didn't even know anything about the grooming scandal. That was heartbreaking to hear about that. I never knew about it. Generally, I don't like watching a lot of things that just tear my heart in million pieces. But you also need to stay on top of things. To be aware and to take right decisions. Mm. These people lose their homes. They will build it. Um. Well. First of all, there are people who are dead, so they will never be alive again. Number one, and number two, it's not that easy. If you're, even though they have the money, but I just told you that um, I met people who had to run from their homes, who had to leave their homes. It's such an incredible pain. I don't think that anybody deserves this. Yes, it's easier when you have money in the bank, when you have cash in the bank. I agree, it must be easier, but what about everything? You grew up there, you have memories, you maybe had plans, you had your special things. It's not as, yes, important, most important when things are when your loved ones are alive. But let's not be honest, just when you just lose your wallet, how do you feel? You have to go through a million things to get your documents back, to get your cards back. Imagine losing everything. We have Most people have a healthy attachment to the place that they're living. There is, I mean, I don't wish this to an enemy. That's all I can say. Thank you, Dave. Thank you for the compliments. 16 people died. Yeah, 16 people. That's 16 people that maybe had families, loved ones, plans for the future, and everything else. And think about how it is dying in a fire. I'm going to say this one last thing. I posted on my Telegram. I'm maybe will at some point do a little Telegram group, but when my channel grows a little bit. So I posted a little short video of uh, there is this girl, her name is Karolina Portsenko. Maybe some of you know her. She's a very talented young girl. She plays violin. She's just delightful. And they were in a car. She's from Ukraine originally, but they're right now in LA. And they were driving. Her mother was driving in the car with her small siblings, and she's like 14 or 15 herself. And they were just driving into the overwhelming fire, into burning pieces, into, and on a highway there is no way to turn back. And they were praying in the cars. It's just this one family. They survived, but just one family. That just the fear of children to be burned alive. Just because somebody has more money or is, they still bleed the same. It's just a nightmare to live through something like this. I can't even imagine. I can't imagine. The only, I haven't lived through the wars. The only things that are similar is looking at cities that the war had burned in Ukraine. It's horrible. It's so tragic. And there is no excuses and there is no minimizing it. There is no way to minimize this. It's just, this mismanagement. What we could do, we had done this election season. Most of us took charge and we showed that it's enough of playing around. It's enough of hiring incapable people that not deserving to be in power. Yeah, that's why it's so important to have your own mind, your own way of thinking, because man, they just their lies, the governmental lies and these all this politics. It's like they're so sick. You can cut them with a knife. I feel like, yeah, but anyway, that video that Carolina made in the car, it just broke my heart in a million pieces. Just hearing the poor mother, I just was empathizing because I can't imagine, being somewhere, with my loved ones, and knowing that everything depends on you. You are about to literally, you're driving into hell. You may just get on fire, and that's it. And you have little ones with you. That's just horrific. Just watching that. It was not live, it was recorded, but seeing what they went through is just, yeah, it's just inhumane. And yeah, that's why you cannot trust none of this. uh oh my goodness, you cannot trust anything that they tell you. It's insane. As much as you want to look up and believe that people who run your country have your best interest, but it's quite the opposite. And I feel so bad, for just people losing the most precious is life. In Ukraine, we have this genocide against men, and they are trying to get to women as well. They're trying to get women to um, to involve women in that, and it's all because of a poor management. What kind of men cannot find a strategy, cannot protect his family, his country, that instead of protecting, resolving, negotiating, he's like, oh, here's my wife, like, or like my daughter, and grabs and put her in front of him. This is a kind of this kind of man should never run anything, not even their own family. Thank you, Elizabeth. Great to see you, my darling. Thank you so much for stopping by. Yes, I've actually have a good night, darling. Thank you guys for joining. Everybody who is new, thanks so much for coming. If you were not able to express your thoughts and opinions, feel free to do so under the video. I'll post how you can contact me under the video as well. I'm gonna update my description for correct information. So, but meanwhile, if you enjoyed my video, I hope to see you in the next one, and I wish you the best day, and I wish peace at where you are at. I will see you soon. Bye bye. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining.